Selamat datang di Universitas Multimedia Nusantara. Selama beraktivitas di Universitas Multimedia Nusantara, keselamatan Anda merupakan prioritas utama kami. Kami akan menyampaikan prosedur penyelamatan saat terjadi keadaan darurat. Keadaan darurat yang mungkin terjadi antara lain gempa bumi, kebakaran, dan ancaman bom. Saat ini Anda berada di Lecture Hall New Media Tower. Kami ingin menjelaskan beberapa fasilitas yang ada di Lecture Hall. Ruangan ini telah diperlengkapi peralatan proteksi kebakaran seperti APAR, hydrant, sprinkle, smoke detector, dan pengeras suara. Lecture Hall mempunyai 4 akses pintu keluar, yaitu di bagian depan kanan dan kiri gedung, serta di bagian belakang kanan dan kiri gedung. Pintu darurat terdekat terletak di belakang lift dan samping toilet pria. Titik kumpul terdekat dengan Lecture Hall berada di area parkir roda 2 Universitas Multimedia Nusantara. Saat terjadi gempa bumi, tetap tenang, jangan panik, dan tetaplah waspada. Lakukan beberapa perlindungan berikut ini. 1. Berlindung di bawah benda yang kuat dan kokoh seperti meja hingga gempa berhenti, lindungi kepala Anda. 2. Membentuk segitiga kehidupan sambil melindungi bagian kepala dengan lengan atau benda keras hingga gempa berhenti. 3. Berlindung di sudut-sudut gedung sambil melindungi bagian kepala dengan lengan atau benda keras hingga gempa berhenti. Saat terjadi kebakaran atau teror bom. Kebakaran ditandai dengan bunyi alarm darurat, sedangkan teror bom diumumkan melalui pengeras suara. Pada kasus keadaan darurat tersebut, yang perlu Anda lakukan adalah melakukan evakuasi ke titik kumpul terdekat. Jika Anda melihat api, padamkan api dengan APAR jika memungkinkan. Jika api membesar, tekan alarm darurat dan laporkan kepada petugas. Pada semua kasus keadaan darurat yang terjadi, yang perlu Anda lakukan adalah mengikuti arahan petugas atau petunjuk arah evakuasi yang terpasang. Berjalan dengan cepat, tenang dan teratur, usahakan untuk tidak berlari. Lepaskan sepatu bertumit tinggi saat melakukan evakuasi untuk menghindari resiko terjatuh. Jangan membawa benda berat di tangan akan menghambat jalannya proses evakuasi. Jangan gunakan lift. Jika Anda sedang berada di dalamnya, tekan seluruh tombol lantai serta tombol emergensi untuk menghubungi pengelola gedung. Segera keluar saat lift berhenti. Gunakanlah tangga darurat. Saat menuruni tangga, berjalanlah dengan tertib sambil memegang handrail yang tersedia. Segeralah berkumpul di lokasi titik kumpul. Petugas akan melakukan pendataan penghuni gedung. Segera laporkan jika ada yang belum bersama Anda di titik kumpul. Jangan pernah kembali ke gedung sebelum ada pengumuman bahwa situasi gedung telah aman dari tim tanggap darurat. Ingat, pastikan Anda melihat 2 rambu berikut, emergency exit dan lokasi pintu darurat terdekat. Hubungi nomor extension 8900 atau 8901 atau 2600 jika terjadi keadaan darurat. Dengan mengetahui safety induction sejak awal, maka dapat meminimalisir angka kecelakaan saat keadaan darurat. Demikian safety induction agar menjadi perhatian dan terima kasih atas kerjasamanya. Untuk selanjutnya, selamat mengikuti acara berikutnya. Selamat datang di Universitas Multimedia Nusantara. Selama beraktivitas di Universitas Multimedia Nusantara, keselamatan Anda merupakan prioritas utama kami. Kami akan menyampaikan prosedur penyelamatan saat terjadi keadaan darurat. Keadaan darurat yang mungkin terjadi antara lain gempa bumi, kebakaran, dan ancaman bom. Saat ini Anda berada di Lecture Hall New Media Tower. Kami ingin menjelaskan beberapa fasilitas yang ada di Lecture Hall. Ruangan ini telah diperlengkapi peralatan proteksi kebakaran seperti APAR, hydrant, sprinkle, smoke detector, dan pengeras suara. Lecture Hall mempunyai 4 akses pintu keluar, yaitu di bagian depan kanan dan kiri gedung, serta di bagian belakang kanan dan kiri gedung. Pintu darurat terdekat terletak di belakang lift dan samping toilet pria. Titik kumpul terdekat dengan Lecture Hall berada di area parkir roda 2 Universitas Multimedia Nusantara. Saat terjadi gempa bumi, tetap tenang, jangan panik, dan tetaplah waspada. Lakukan beberapa perlindungan berikut ini. 1. Berlindung di bawah benda yang kuat dan kokoh seperti meja hingga gempa berhenti, lindungi kepala Anda. 2. Membentuk segitiga kehidupan sambil melindungi bagian kepala dengan lengan atau benda keras hingga gempa berhenti. 3. Berlindung di sudut-sudut gedung sambil melindungi bagian kepala dengan lengan atau benda keras hingga gempa berhenti. Saat terjadi kebakaran atau teror bom. Kebakaran ditandai dengan bunyi alarm darurat, sedangkan teror bom diumumkan melalui pengeras suara. Pada kasus keadaan darurat tersebut, yang perlu Anda lakukan adalah melakukan evakuasi ke titik kumpul terdekat. Jika Anda melihat api, padamkan api dengan apar jika memungkinkan. Jika api membesar, tekan alarm darurat dan laporkan kepada petugas. Pada semua kasus keadaan darurat yang terjadi, yang perlu Anda lakukan adalah mengikuti arahan petugas atau petunjuk arah evakuasi yang tepat. Tenang dan teratur, usahakan untuk tidak berlari. Lepaskan sepatu bertumit tinggi saat melakukan evakuasi untuk menghindari resiko terjatuh. Jangan membawa benda berat di tangan akan menghambat jalannya proses evakuasi. Jangan gunakan lift. Jika Anda sedang berada di dalamnya, tekan seluruh tombol lantai serta tombol emergensi untuk menghubungi pengelola gedung. Segera keluar saat lift berhenti. Gunakanlah tangga darurat. Saat menuruni tangga, berjalanlah dengan tertib sambil memegang handrail yang tersedia. Segeralah berkumpul di lokasi titik kumpul. Petugas akan melakukan pendataan penghuni gedung. Segera laporkan jika ada yang belum bersama Anda di titik kumpul. Jangan pernah kembali ke gedung sebelum ada pengumuman bahwa situasi gedung telah aman dari tim tanggap darurat. Ingat, pastikan Anda melihat dua rambu berikut, emergency exit dan lokasi pintu darurat terdekat. Hubungi nomor extension 8900 atau 8901 atau 2600 jika terjadi keadaan darurat. Dengan mengetahui safety induction sejak awal, maka dapat meminimalisir angka kecelakaan saat keadaan darurat. Demikian safety induction agar menjadi perhatian dan terima kasih atas kerjasamanya. Untuk selanjutnya, selamat mengikuti acara berikutnya. Selamat datang di Universitas Multimedia Nusantara. Selama beraktivitas di Universitas Multimedia Nusantara, keselamatan Anda merupakan prioritas utama kami. Kami akan menyampaikan prosedur penyelamatan saat terjadi keadaan darurat. Keadaan darurat yang mungkin terjadi antara lain gempa bumi, kebakaran, dan ancaman bom. Saat ini Anda berada di Lecture Hall New Media Tower. Kami ingin menjelaskan beberapa fasilitas yang ada di Lecture Hall. Ruangan ini telah diperlengkapi peralatan proteksi kebakaran seperti apar, hydran, sprinkle, smoke detector, dan pengeras suara. Lecture Hall mempunyai 4 akses pintu keluar, yaitu di bagian depan kanan dan kiri gedung, serta di bagian belakang kanan dan kiri gedung. Pintu darurat terdekat terletak di belakang lift dan samping toilet pria. Titik kumpul terdekat dengan Lecture Hall berada di area parkir roda 2, Universitas Multimedia Nusantara. Saat terjadi gempa bumi, tetap tenang, jangan panik dan tetaplah waspada. Lakukan beberapa perlindungan berikut ini. 1. Berlindung di bawah benda yang kuat dan kokoh seperti meja hingga gempa berhenti, lindungi kepala Anda. 2. Membentuk segitiga kehidupan sambil melindungi bagian kepala dengan lengan atau benda keras hingga gempa berhenti. 3. Berlindung di sudut-sudut gedung sambil melindungi bagian kepala dengan lengan atau benda keras hingga gempa berhenti. Saat terjadi kebakaran atau teror bom. Kebakaran ditandai dengan bunyi alarm darurat, sedangkan teror bom diumumkan melalui pengeras suara. Pada kasus keadaan darurat tersebut, yang perlu Anda lakukan adalah melakukan evakuasi ke titik kumpul terdekat. Jika Anda melihat api, padamkan api dengan apar jika memungkinkan. Jika api membesar, tekan alarm darurat dan laporkan kepada petugas. Pada semua kasus keadaan darurat yang terjadi, yang perlu Anda lakukan adalah mengikuti arahan petugas atau petunjuk arah evakuasi yang terpasang. Berjalan dengan cepat, tenang dan teratur, usahakan untuk tidak berlari. Lepaskan sepatu bertumit tinggi saat melakukan evakuasi untuk menghindari resiko terjatuh. Jangan membawa benda berat di tangan akan menghambat jalannya proses evakuasi. Jangan gunakan lift. Jika Anda sedang berada di dalamnya, tekan seluruh tombol lantai serta tombol emergensi untuk menghubungi pengelola gedung. Segera keluar saat lift berhenti. Gunakanlah tangga darurat. Saat menuruni tangga, berjalanlah dengan tertib sambil memegang handrail yang tersedia. Segeralah berkumpul di lokasi titik kumpul. Petugas akan melakukan pendataan penghuni gedung. Segera laporkan jika ada yang belum bersama Anda di titik kumpul. Jangan pernah kembali ke gedung sebelum ada pengumuman bahwa situasi gedung telah aman dari tim tanggap darurat. Ingat, pastikan Anda melihat dua rambu berikut: emergency exit dan lokasi pintu darurat terdekat. Hubungi nomor extension 8900 atau 8901 atau 2600 jika terjadi keadaan darurat. Dengan mengetahui safety induction sejak awal, maka dapat meminimalisir angka kecelakaan saat keadaan darurat. Demikian safety induction agar menjadi perhatian dan terima kasih atas kerjasamanya. Untuk selanjutnya, selamat mengikuti acara berikutnya. Selamat datang di Universitas Multimedia Nusantara. Selama beraktivitas di Universitas Multimedia Nusantara, keselamatan Anda merupakan prioritas utama kami. Kami akan menyampaikan prosedur penyelamatan saat terjadi keadaan darurat. Keadaan darurat yang mungkin terjadi antara lain gempa bumi, kebakaran, dan ancaman bom. Saat ini Anda berada di Lecture Hall New Media Tower. Kami ingin menjelaskan beberapa fasilitas yang ada di Lecture Hall. Ruangan ini telah diperlengkapi peralatan proteksi kebakaran seperti APAR, hydrant, sprinkle, smoke detector, dan pengeras suara. Lecture Hall mempunyai 4 akses pintu keluar, yaitu di bagian depan kanan dan kiri gedung, serta di bagian belakang kanan dan kiri gedung. Pintu darurat terdekat terletak di belakang lift dan samping toilet pria. Titik kumpul terdekat dengan Lecture Hall berada di area parkir roda 2 Universitas Multimedia Nusantara. Saat terjadi gempa bumi, tetap tenang, jangan panik, dan tetaplah waspada. Lakukan beberapa perlindungan berikut ini. 1. Berlindung di bawah benda yang kuat dan kokoh seperti meja hingga gempa berhenti, lindungi kepala Anda. 2. Membentuk segitiga kehidupan sambil melindungi bagian kepala dengan lengan atau benda keras hingga gempa berhenti. 3. Berlindung di sudut-sudut gedung sambil melindungi bagian kepala dengan lengan atau benda keras hingga gempa berhenti. Saat terjadi kebakaran atau teror bom. Kebakaran ditandai dengan bunyi alarm darurat, sedangkan teror bom diumumkan melalui pengeras suara. Pada kasus keadaan darurat tersebut, yang perlu Anda lakukan adalah melakukan evakuasi ke titik kumpul terdekat. Jika Anda melihat api, padamkan api dengan APAR jika memungkinkan. Jika api membesar, tekan alarm darurat dan laporkan kepada petugas. Pada semua kasus keadaan darurat yang terjadi, yang perlu Anda lakukan adalah mengikuti arahan petugas atau petunjuk arah evakuasi yang terpasang. Berjalan dengan cepat, tenang.
Selamat siang teman-teman, boleh dibantu untuk isi row yang di depan dulu ya.
Lepaskan sepatu bertumit tinggi saat melakukan evakuasi untuk
Boleh dibantu untuk isi row yang di depan dulu.
Jangan membawa benda berat di tangan.
Terima kasih.
Menghambat jalannya proses evakuasi. Jangan gunakan lift. Jika Anda sedang berada di dalamnya, tekan seluruh tombol lantai serta tombol emergensi untuk menghubungi pengelola gedung. Segera keluar saat lift berhenti. Gunakanlah tangga darurat. Saat menuruni tangga, berjalanlah dengan tertib sambil memegang handrail yang tersedia. Segeralah berkumpul di lokasi titik kumpul. Petugas akan melakukan pendataan penghuni gedung. Segera laporkan jika ada yang belum bersama Anda di titik kumpul. Jangan pernah kembali ke gedung sebelum ada pengumuman bahwa situasi gedung telah aman dari tim tanggap darurat. Ingat, pastikan Anda melihat dua rambu berikut: emergency exit dan lokasi pintu darurat terdekat. Hubungi nomor extension 8900 atau 8901 atau 2600 jika terjadi.
Ayo teman-teman, boleh dibantu untuk mengisi row di depan terlebih dahulu supaya acara bisa kita mulai. Terima kasih.
Angka kecelakaan saat keadaan darurat.
Ya, bisa dibantu ya teman-teman ya. Kita isi row yang di depan dulu. Terima kasih.
Untuk selanjutnya, selamat mengikuti acara berikutnya. Selamat datang di Universitas Multimedia Nusantara. Selama beraktivitas di Universitas Multimedia Nusantara, keselamatan Anda merupakan prioritas utama kami. Kami akan menyampaikan prosedur penyelamatan saat terjadi keadaan darurat. Keadaan darurat yang mungkin terjadi antara lain gempa bumi, kebakaran, dan ancaman bom. Saat ini Anda berada di Lecture Hall New Media Tower. Kami ingin menjelaskan beberapa fasilitas yang ada di Lecture Hall. Ruangan ini telah diperlengkapi peralatan proteksi kebakaran seperti APAR, hydrant, sprinkle, smoke detector, dan pengeras suara. Lecture Hall mempunyai 4 akses pintu keluar, yaitu di bagian depan kanan dan kiri gedung, serta di bagian belakang kanan dan kiri gedung. Pintu darurat terdekat terletak di belakang lift dan samping toilet pria. Titik kumpul terdekat dengan Lecture Hall berada di area parkir roda 2 Universitas Multimedia Nusantara. Saat terjadi gempa bumi, tetap tenang, jangan panik dan tetaplah waspada. Lakukan beberapa perlindungan berikut ini. 1. Berlindung di bawah benda yang kuat dan kokoh seperti meja hingga gempa berhenti, lindungi kepala Anda. 2. Membentuk segitiga kehidupan sambil melindungi bagian kepala dengan lengan atau benda keras hingga gempa berhenti. 3. Berlindung di sudut-sudut gedung sambil melindungi bagian kepala dengan lengan atau benda keras hingga gempa berhenti. Saat terjadi kebakaran atau teror bom. Kebakaran ditandai dengan bunyi alarm darurat, sedangkan teror bom diumumkan melalui pengeras suara. Pada kasus keadaan darurat tersebut, yang perlu Anda lakukan adalah melakukan evakuasi ke titik kumpul terdekat. Jika Anda melihat api, padamkan api dengan apar jika memungkinkan. Jika api membesar, tekan alarm darurat dan laporkan kepada petugas. Pada semua kasus keadaan darurat yang terjadi, yang perlu Anda lakukan adalah mengikuti arahan petugas atau petunjuk arah evakuasi yang terpasang. Berjalan dengan cepat, tenang dan teratur, usahakan untuk tidak berlari. Lepaskan sepatu bertumit tinggi saat melakukan evakuasi untuk menghindari resiko terjatuh. Jangan membawa benda berat di tangan akan menghambat jalannya proses evakuasi. Jangan gunakan lift. Jika Anda sedang berada di dalamnya, tekan seluruh tombol lantai serta tombol emergensi untuk menghubungi pengelola gedung. Segera keluar saat lift berhenti. Gunakanlah tangga darurat. Saat menuruni tangga, berjalanlah dengan tertib sambil memegang handrail yang tersedia. Segeralah berkumpul di lokasi titik kumpul. Petugas akan melakukan pendataan penghuni gedung. Segera laporkan jika ada yang belum bersama Anda di titik kumpul. Jangan pernah kembali ke gedung sebelum ada pengumuman bahwa situasi gedung telah aman dari tim tanggap darurat. Ingat, pastikan Anda melihat 2 rambu berikut: emergency exit dan lokasi pintu darurat terdekat. Hubungi nomor extension 8900 atau 8901 atau 2600 jika terjadi keadaan darurat. Dengan mengetahui safety induction sejak awal, maka dapat meminimalisir angka kecelakaan saat keadaan darurat. Demikian safety induction agar menjadi perhatian dan terima kasih atas kerjasamanya. Untuk selanjutnya, selamat mengikuti acara berikutnya. Selamat datang di Universitas Multimedia Nusantara. Selama beraktivitas di Universitas Multimedia Nusantara, keselamatan Anda merupakan prioritas utama kami. Kami akan menyampaikan prosedur penyelamatan saat terjadi keadaan darurat. Keadaan darurat yang mungkin terjadi antara lain gempa bumi, kebakaran, dan ancaman bom. Saat ini Anda berada di Lecture Hall New Media Tower. Kami ingin menjelaskan beberapa fasilitas yang ada di Lecture Hall. Ruangan ini telah diperlengkapi peralatan proteksi kebakaran seperti apar, hydrant, sprinkle, smoke detector, dan pengeras suara. Lecture Hall mempunyai 4 akses pintu keluar, yaitu di bagian depan kanan dan kiri gedung, serta di bagian belakang kanan dan kiri gedung. Pintu darurat terdekat terletak di belakang lift dan samping toilet pria. Titik kumpul terdekat dengan Lecture Hall berada di area parkir roda 2, Universitas Multimedia.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan, peace be upon to us, and good afternoon everyone. Greetings to the respectable the Dean of Multimedia Nusantara University, Mr. Andri Andoko, and the Head of Communication Study Department, Mrs. Chandra Rizky. The Honorable Speaker, Dr. Vasyl Hamianin, Ukrainian Ambassador to Indonesia, and esteemed lecturers and my beloved fellow students. I am Duta Besar Ukraina, Women Active Student 4th semester, and I'm going to be your MCS today event. I'm very pleased to see you all here and welcome all of you to this event. Before starting this event, please pay attention to this following building safety video. Okay, to begin this program, let us sing our respective national anthems. The first song that's gonna play is in the Indonesian national anthem, Indonesia Raya. Please stand up. The next is Ukraine's national anthem, Shineyu Merla Ukraines. Today's lecture is about media relations during crisis. Of course, we will listen to the presentation given by His Excellency Dr. Vasyl. For friends who wants to ask questions, a Q&A session will be provided and will be guided by the moderator. Without further ado, let me hand you over to our respected moderator, Mr. Silvanus Alvin. Mr. Silvanus Alvin had earned his bachelor's degree in communication science in 2013 at Multimedia Nusantara University in journalism. Further ado, he had obtained a master's degree in media and public relations from the University of Leicester, UK in 2018. Before becoming a lecturer, he had gained experience as journalist at Kompas.com, Detik.com, Liputan6.com, and his last position was a palace journalist. Please welcome Mr. Silvanus Alvin.
Hello. Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, my friends, my dear colleague. We are now entering the session of our today's event. Let me introduce you to our distinguished speaker, Dr. Vasyl Hamianin, Ukrainian ambassador to Indonesia. He is born in December 1971. He received his PhD in World History from National Academy of Sciences in Ukraine. He joined diplomatic service of Ukraine in 2002, and he has appointed as the ambassador extraordinary and plenipotentiary of Ukraine to the Republic of Indonesia on 31 July 2021. Without further ado, let's welcome with a round of applause to Dr. Vasyl. So you want to start with a presentation, sir?
As you say.
Okay.
You're my boss today, so yeah.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, maybe this is our student. Maybe they are a little bit nervous. And for women, every Wednesday is an English day. So please speak in English freely. and I will try my best to maybe like translate it to them if they want to be translated, of course. Without further ado, please, I will.
No need for presentation.
No need for the presentation. Okay. Okay, so maybe another applause for the Dr. Vasyl.
Ya, saudara-saudari, selamat sore. Ya. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan, ya. And Merdeka. Kalau saya harus berbahasa Indonesia, saya tidak bisa. So don't worry, I will speak English only because I cannot speak Bahasa. Yeah. So it's good that you have the English day today. So first, don't hesitate to ask questions. It's not the lecture. It's just communication. You are students of the very important university in your country. You are students and lecturers and like Kedua, yeah, dosen-dosen, guru-guru, yeah, of very important and I would say basic universities in this country. So I have a background of interpreter and of the philologist, so I talk too much. So as the people in media sphere are supposed to do. So it's similarity between us. We talk too much, we have to talk. And the difference is, as you say that I had a background in world history, this is different because history is dealing with dead people, and you are dealing with alive people, very much alive, so you have to communicate with. I can communicate with dead people reading books, but you have to talk to the people directly and ask questions. So please, this topic I was proposed was about the media and the diplomatic work and the counter-propaganda and the information resistance to the disinformation, to propaganda, etc., etc. So basically, I sat down yesterday, well, a few days ago, and made a very clear decision that if I discuss this topic in details, it will take like maybe a month, maybe a week, but definitely not 1 hour, not 30 minutes. So I would propose, how about I will just give little points on what we do, and then I'll receive questions. Because I really am interested what you are interested in. I'm really interested what you think, what you want to know. I will never be able to guess correctly what you want to know. I did lectures in many universities in Indonesia, not only in Jakarta, in Solo, in Jogja, in Surabaya, in Bali, and questions are so different. And like, well, I would never think about the questions you may ask. So let's do it, yeah, in this brief way. I will spend minimum time for speaking and then maximum for answering. Yeah. I would prefer standing because I could see everyone and everyone could see me. Sitting is like.
Sorry, Mr. Ambassador, can I explain it in Bahasa first to the student? Teman-teman, jadi Bapak Dubes kita yang terhormat, dia bilang hanya akan memberikan sedikit poin-poin pengantar. Nanti teman-teman silakan bertanya. Justru Bapak Dubes ini ingin tahu apa yang teman-teman mau ketahui. Jadi pertanyaan teman-teman itu nanti akan langsung dijawab oleh Bapak Dubes. Yang tidak semua kampus bisa berikan kepada teman-teman mahasiswa, cuma ada di UMN. Terima kasih.
I'm so ashamed I cannot do it in Bahasa. Yeah. I can do it in Chinese if you can understand. No. Right. So we start from some very personal points. Right. I ask you for one little favor, to know more, to explore something about Ukraine and about this global catastrophe we are facing. I invite you to follow the Twitter and Instagram and Facebook of Ukrainian Embassy and of myself. You can find it easily. It's like my @V Hamianin. My name is I don't hide under the masks. It's my direct name. So please follow, please look. It's a lot of information, very concise and very informative in Bahasa. And yeah, you will pick up a lot of things there. So it's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and we have partners who create TikTok content for us also, so you can follow it too. So we are talking about the information in general, information and media and diplomacy and this society, our lives, right? So what it is about? It's like being a diplomat, but not the expert in media. My task I'm facing in every society, like in China when I worked for a long time, and in Indonesia, is expanding the presence of my country. So my first task was to make Ukrainian flag appear on Indonesian map. So Indonesian people will know what is my country, where is it, what is it about, how close it is or remote it is, ideologically, economically from your society. So this is knowledge. This is the expanding the knowledge about the country. Yeah? And there are many sources of doing this. One of them, of course, is media, social media, and this internet environment. It can be done in hundreds of ways, and then you can ask the questions. What will be important to deliver, I think, in this matter is the current events. The current news that will attract attention of the people. Current news that will be interesting and, catching the attention. Not just, boring something, no, we gather like crops, people go fall asleep. No, something nice, something maybe spicy in good sense of this word. Something that will attract attention. And it's the work of media people to make any news entertaining, any news attractive. Second, it's just delivering the information about the country. Again, it's just in general about the history, culture. What is important here in Indonesia? I say already, yeah? Sholat, makan, berfoto. So, we can use these things. What are important here? Okay, Islam, then religious diversity, then ethnic diversity, language diversity, biodiversity, and then a lot of makanan. Yeah? We can use these points that attract. I mean, I post very important something and I get like 50 likes. I post my cat, I have 300 likes immediately, like in no time. Why? People get attracted to that. And when I write down that these cats and dogs of mine are hiding under the bed and in the toilet when there are shelling and bombing by Russian Rudal, it will attract attention. It will catch your eyes, and you will link it together. Yeah, you don't want to read about sad news, but if you see the animals suffering, you can catch it. In the world, by the way, in the world, there are a few examples of very famous people who actually were indifferent to what happens in Ukraine. Like, okay, people die, okay, tens of thousands of people die, well, just a war, Lila. And then there were news about the animals suffering during the war. Like horses, like dogs, like cats, like animals in the zoo, animals in national parks and reserves. And then these guys started, oh my God, animals are not guilty. They don't participate in politics and nothing. And he started to donate millions and millions of dollars to that, to Ukrainian society, to Ukrainian people who suffer because of that. That's one of the points media people achieved. Just one example. Third is, what I have to think about is the how free media are in this or that society. This is very important. What I mean by free media, we can compare the media in North Korea, in Russia, in China, to the media in the UK, Ukraine, Indonesia, and you'll see the difference. It's, I shouldn't explain it, right? So you understand this, what's going on. No need to explain. But in the democratic countries with the free societies, Like Indonesia, like Ukraine, we have very similar media environments here. You still have to calculate how free the media are. Because media could belong to some oligarchs. Media could be providing services especially for some political parties, for some religious groups, for some, I don't know, ethnic groups or something. Yeah? And that's why they could be biased to this or that extent. But the freedom of media is not in this. Freedom of media is the possibility of existence of all these groups. You will never get rid of the control over media by some groups or by some oligarchs. Never. Because, be cynical, it's all about money. Everybody needs to earn money. Everybody needs to, to survive in this world. But in Indonesia, like in Ukraine, every media has the opportunity to survive, to live, to deliver freely. This is the free media. Don't be confused in that. Free media is not like, only like what we think is true, what we think is right. Free media is the, it's just like, it's pluralism, it's plural. It's the sea of opinions, it's the sea of positions, right? So we have to think about that. And of course you have to calculate the influence of media and influence of social media to this or that group. For example, you identify your target audience. And in some countries, I will not specifically speak about this or that country, in some countries, talking about Ukraine and Russian aggression, you can identify that your target audience is not the intelligent people, not the people with higher education, not the political elites. No, your target audience is like people from the farmers from the remote villages who don't read much. What they can read and listen is a bit of radio and a bit of TikTok. That's it. And I'll explain why later on a bit. But you have to identify your target audience. Many countries in the world help Ukraine to fight with aggressor, not because we work good, but because they understand it automatically, which is good, which is bad. You have this notion of balance, of neutrality. We can discuss this. I welcome the questions on that. But the thing is, balance must not be the balance between the dictatorship and the democracy. This is not balance. This is wrong balance. Okay? Balance could be between the rightist, leftist, more to that, more to this direction, but never between the tyranny, the slavery, and the freedom. I don't need this balance. Does anyone else in this audience need this balance? So the world should be balanced between the slavery and freedom. I don't think so. You know what is slavery? Well, at least your grandfathers knew. We know it very clearly, and it's painful. So we have to identify the audience and then work with the audience. In my case, well, I will speak more about my case because it's pretty unique here. My task in terms of media and the communications, like social media and all, is to counter the disinformation, counter Russian propaganda. Why it's so important? For me, growing up, I was growing up in the Soviet Union, in communist regime. Yeah, I was like a komsomol, blah blah blah, all this Marxist Leninist stuff. And I know what it is. I know what it means for the people. I know what it means for the society. It's dangerous. But not everyone in the world understands this. Besides propaganda, and you must remember this. You must remember this. I know it's not good to say must, yeah, but you must remember this. Propaganda compared to the true news is always beautiful. Propaganda is always sweet. Propaganda is always clear and simple. Propaganda is always like it looks very, very much reliable. This is about propaganda. It's always better than the truth. Truth is ugly. Truth is not stable. Truth is must be verified. Truth must be proved. Propaganda does not need this. You just say, this is our target. This is our God. Hey, Putin is a great man. Yes. What else do you need? Yeah. Russia never starts wars. Great. Russia is the friend of Muslim countries. Okay. And these all statements are simple, clear, and people say, why not? Why should we disbelieve this? Yeah. Couple of examples. You know this situation when the one madman in Denmark burned Quran, Holy Quran, yeah, and there was like huge reaction from the Muslim communities worldwide. It was the provocation now provoked by the Russian Federation, but it's not the important. Not this is important. Important is this: recently in Russia, in Moscow, same story happened. Russians burned Quran for video, telling that like Moscow is for Russians, Muslims know your place. Burned Quran because they were like protesting against building the new masjid in Moscow. No reaction. Why? I received a lot of comments on my and this information was not delivered by me. It was delivered by the Muslim community in Ukraine, by the top Muslim leaders. They've picked it up and explained it. Look, world, look at this. And you know what the comment were? Oh, it's Western propaganda. Full stop. Nice, clean. Something that you want to know or you don't want to know. This is about propaganda. This is not the opportunity to identify the truth. This is the point of, I like it, I don't like it. I like this direction, okay, I will follow it. Doesn't matter whether it's true or not. Yeah? When you look at the videos provided by so-called Chechen people in Russia, like Kadyrov and stuff, when they, in TikTok, 5 seconds, when Kadyrov wearing the military form say, Allahu Akbar, say, ooh, great. Did anyone ask Russians how many hundreds of thousands of civilian Muslims they killed during the Chechen wars in recent years, 2009? 200,000 to 300,000 women and children killed by Russian soldiers in Chechnya only. Not calculating the Muslim people killed by Russians in Mali, in Central African Republic, in Sudan, in Ukraine, in Syria, Afghanistan. Did anyone calculate this? But still people say Russia is the friend of Muslim people. We like to believe this. We have to counter the propaganda, taking into account this. And we have to take into account the peculiarities of this country, of any country you work in. China, Indonesia, Vietnam, India, whatever, yeah? We have to take into account the historical background, the present political background, what happens now, and then you can efficiently build up the narratives that will be acceptable for the wide audience. However, sometimes it doesn't work as well. So this is the dead end. Of course, the factors that should be taken into account is the relationship between the country, again, China, India, Indonesia, whatever, with the aggressor, Russia. You have to know the background, you have to know, and when you identify the lies, when you identify the points of disinformation, you can counter them, and this works sometimes, not always. Of course, you have to rely also on the social, on the various layers of the population. You have to count on the farmers, yeah, that don't want to know much. They are Muslim. They pray. They work. They follow the leaders. So You have to calculate on the political parties, which are different ideology. You have to calculate upon Nahdlatul Ulama, Muhammadiyah. You have to calculate upon the special regions like Papua, like Irian Jaya, like Aceh. Yeah? So what people think there and what you should do to to prevent any mistake, because sometimes you can make mistake not intentionally. You can say something wrong, yeah. And sometimes you have to, hit the target, and it will be like 100% successful. What you deliver, what you want to deliver to this country. Basically, about media people, it's three things: it's mission, it's vision, and it's basics. So I don't need to explain this. This will take time. But mission, vision, and basics. So you have to rely on this. You have to stand on this. Follow these three things, and you will be successful as a communicator, as media, as as a strategist. In any case, methods and instruments will basically, for me, it will be the creation of the good and efficient content, the direct communication with media, developing social media, because now it's more and more efficient. Especially, again, I repeat, TikTok is like TikTok forever. Oh my God! Yeah, who wins TikTok? The one who wins TikTok wins the world. Now this is the, unfortunately, it's true. And the influencers, and taking into account position of the government and of different various social groups. Monitoring of the results, crucial for developing the media, because if you don't know what are the results, that's why you have to spend money for this. You have to spend for the monitoring. Otherwise, it will be like away from the target. You will spend a lot of efforts, money, and then you will reach nothing. It will be non-efficient. Unfortunately, this takes a lot of efforts and money and time, but without this, the efficiency could be very high, and could be very low. So you have to do this to maintain stability, to be stably efficient. Yeah. I don't know if we have more time.
Maybe 5 minutes.
Close.
Yeah, close. Okay. Closing statement.
Okay. Challenges. Simple. My challenges, and the challenges could be copy paste to any other societies, is the social sentiments, social and political, historical sentiments towards the evil events or evil countries, like towards Russia. Example is very clear. Russia has been doing crimes through all the history, through hundreds of years. And for some reason, some countries still believe Russia was a friend. Sentiments must be taken into account. And we must understand why they appeared. And then we must break them. Because wrong sentiments can lead to very, very tragic events. Biggest challenge maybe for me is financing. We have to point this out. Everybody's clear about that, but I don't think that, I wish you not to be in the illusion that anything can be achieved only by our strong work and like eagerness and like willingness to get the result. Money is important. So unfortunately, we have to balance on that. We have to do somehow that to survive and to be efficient. Yeah. People. No more to add. You are the future of this country. You are the future of this like media world, social media world, and in general of this society. So no addition to that. And of course the factors that I would call blind and corrupted, biased experts. This is something that I still have to answer the question to myself, why these people still exist in the world. But they have been existing all the time. When during the Second World War, after the Second World War, And now still there are lots of people that say that, well, Hitler was a nice guy. Why not? He did a lot for Germany and blah, blah, blah. Some say that Stalin was a nice guy. He did a lot, like to develop Soviet Union, etc., etc. Some people say Putin is a nice guy. Like doing good for whom, I don't know. But I mean, this is very important. And when these people having the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of subscribers, I would just mention one name, Oni Rahokundini Bakri. The lady who doesn't know what she talks about. It's like that. You understand what happens in Ukraine, right? Basically, you know the background, right? And now imagine the someone who is authoritative speaker comes and says, you know everybody, now I'm telling you the truth. Putin is my hero. He's the greatest leader of this world. And Zelensky, president of Ukraine, is war criminal. Full stop. Bye-bye. I don't know how to deal with that. This is something I'm being disarmed. I don't know what to say. But this is the challenge. And finally, last words about that before the questions. I'm persuaded, I'm absolutely convinced that democracy and, of course, the media must be brave, must be strong, must be aggressive, and must be creative. Aggressive in terms of active. If evil is always with teeth, with claws, and aggressive and ready to kill. If democracy doesn't grow teeth and claws and weapons, it will lose. To defend humanity, democracy, human rights, like justice, we have to be strong. We have to understand how to fight, physically and virtually. We have to be very strong and very aggressive and very brave. This is about media. Just very final words. I want to thank those people, those media people who, from Indonesia, who visited Ukraine in our terrible times. These are a few groups of journalists. First is from Tempo, Majalah Tempo. Second group was from Kompas TV. Third from Metro TV. Fourth from third from TVRI, and fourth from Metro TV. They were doing absolutely incredible things. They were visiting the front line, delivering the reports from the trenches, few hundred meters from the enemy, under the explosions, under everything. So brave people. Thanks God, they're all alive. They're all safe and came back to Indonesia already. So great respect to all of them, and also the memory to those media people and journalists who were killed during this brutal aggression of Russian Federation in Ukraine. So bravery takes lives also. We'll remember them, all of them, and everything. I'm ready for answering the questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Ambassador. Please, a round of applause. Maybe you can take the seat. More relaxed. Okay.
I never tense. I was relaxed.
Okay. Maybe I will explain to the participant here. Teman-teman, jadi ada beberapa hal yang ada beberapa hal yang tadi Pak Dubes sudah sampaikan. Misalnya gini, jadi yang penting itu ada beberapa hal penting ketika kita mau membangun relasi dengan media dan bagaimana distribusi pesannya. Dari kita harus mengenal siapa audiens kita, gitu kan, dari level sosial ekonominya, gitu. Kemudian juga kita juga harus tahu nih, tidak hanya kita approach kepada orang atau kita news value-nya not only for the famous people, tapi juga kita bisa ngambil news value dari hal-hal yang di sekitarnya itu. Misalnya dengan apa? Animals tadi, animals that suffers in the invasion, seperti itu. Nah, kemudian berikutnya juga kita yang namanya PR itu tidak hanya bekerja untuk promosi aja, tapi juga untuk meng-counter disinformation. Dan ini penting dan ini yang sebenarnya menjadi tujuan teman-teman. Kalau teman-teman konteksnya hanya di posisi yang untung aja, promosi, ya apa bedanya dengan marketer aja. Nah, di saat krisis itulah tugas teman-teman sebenarnya. That's your job gitu kan. Nah, yang terakhir ini yang you must remember this. Jadi Mr. Ambassador highlight this sentence. Propaganda compared to the true news is much more sweeter. The propaganda looks very much reliable. The truth is ugly and not stable, but the truth must be proved. Jadi memang kadang-kala propaganda itu seringkali terlihat lebih menjanjikan gitu teman-teman. Maka dari itu kita sebagai PR, sebagai public relations yang baik, kita harus deliver the truth. Nah, before I give them the opportunity to ask you, I have some question, maybe like 2 questions. The first one is, you mentioned about a lot of media in Indonesia. In Indonesia, we have from the data 42,000 media because of the freedom of media. Could you explain to us what media in Indonesia that you trust the most, and you want to this media? Maybe not one, maybe like 3 or 5 media that you trust and you want to convey your message through this media. And the second one is, how do you make a professional relationship with this media in Indonesia? Because you're working in worldwide, you have worked in China, you have now working in Indonesia. And please tell us the strategy or the tactics, Mr. Ambassador.
Yeah, good question. Thank you. First, whom do I trust? I trust all media. There are no media that I don't trust. There are some media I don't like, but I trust all them. And whoever delivers the information which is true, this is good media. This is media that I can trust. That's it. So it's simple. The true information. I repeated this to many people and say, okay, you don't believe me, you don't trust me. Whom do you trust? Tell me, whom do you trust? Because it's important for me that you will trust the deliveries. If you don't trust me, can you trust like CNN or BBC or CNBC? No, you don't trust because they are Western or anti-Western, spirit is too strong in Indonesia. I know that. I know that for sure. For some reason. And okay, whom do you trust? Al Jazeera? Do you trust Al Jazeera? Somehow, yeah, some people do, some. Okay, do you trust Compass? Do you trust Tempo? Do you trust TVRI? Do you trust Metro? These are the witnesses. If you don't trust them, whom do you trust? Okay, this is important, right? You can look through all its method of comparison. For you, it must be also important. How do you identify the truth or not, right? Okay, you take the media from different countries, from different religious, okay, Al Jazeera, yeah? You say BBC, Al Jazeera, CNN, some Indonesia, like Compass, like some India, whatever, yeah? China, people, whatever, yeah? Whatever. What is this? Remin Jibao, yeah? Something like this. And then compare the news they deliver. Same news, how they deliver it, and then compare it to the same news delivered by Russian media. You will see the just abyss between them. There's nothing in common. And then you say, okay, either the Russian news are true and all the rest is crap, or all the news are more or less reliable and Russian is like liars. That's what you come to. But unfortunately, it needs time and your efforts. It needs time because, as I say, disinformasi itu manis, itu cantik, itu nyaman, you know, and truth is not. Truth is ugly and needs digging. If you don't dig, you will never get the truth. Yeah? So I trust all. And how do I get in communication with media? Well, we cooperate on various grounds. Yeah, it's just friendship and some joint projects, whatever. But what's important? I approach the media individually. I'll try to talk to them all. I'll try to ask them what they want from me. Because media is not just giving the favor to me. They're not doing me the favor only. Because I can do them the favor too. How? Media is about the audience. Media wants to deliver something that audience will consume. So if they think there is something nice that will increase the interest to this media from the audience, I can deliver this. Because I also always tell them, ask me any question, any, about my country, about my personal life, about whatever. I am ready to answer. What are you interested in? Cooking? Yes, let's do it. Let's cook in the studio, and I will tell you something about Ukrainian cuisine. You are interested in Ukrainian history, budaya, like Ukrainian traditional batik, well, not batik, but traditional clothes, which looks exactly like baju koko. Yeah, I can tell you about that, of course. It's not just I only tell about the war, no. Because media must pick up something good from me to increase its popularity, to increase the audience.
A follow-up question, maybe how do you prepare to answer all the media question? Like in Indonesia, we have the journalists, they like to do the doorstop thing, like they will, whenever you go out from some doors, they will stop you and then ask you a lot of questions. Do you prepare for the doorstop interview, or maybe you prefer to do the special interview, like one-on-one interview? Which one do you prefer?
I will prefer live. Absolutely, like unprepared, unexpected questions. Because this, first, I know how to answer. Why? Because what I say is truth. I don't need to prepare. I just tell what's happening. In fact, I don't need to receive, like Russian ambassador, she needs to receive the instructions how to answer the questions which are sensitive. Otherwise, she would not be able to answer. Because it's like it's lies. It's constructed. Yeah, I don't have to do this, so I'm prepared to answer. Please do answer. Try me. Yeah, and it's not easy to actually. I don't have time for the well prepared interviews. Like you have to answer in writing. Blah 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 blah. So this will be, every word will be like something and then approved again. No. This will take time. I don't have time. I don't have this resource. So I prefer the live interviews, like live communication.
So less bureaucracy in your practical daily life.
It's
for
more
answering.
Efficient, more fast, saving time, saving lives.
And this is the last one before I give it to the students, to the participant. I mean, how do you approach the media in Indonesia? Because maybe like the first time you came into Indonesia, how do you approach? How do you introduce yourself to the most journalists or the most media? Because you do not differentiate the media by their top tier, medium tier, or low tier. How do you introduce yourself for the first time? Maybe you can share it to the participant.
There is no any unique approach, universal approach. There is no. Because while I came here, I identified which media are the biggest coverage of audience. Central, then this first thing. Second, the biggest coverage in certain groups or in certain regions, and the biggest coverage in terms of, again, religion and the age. So I approach the biggest ones. And then I identify which media publish the, like say, Ukraine-friendly news. I approach them, get communication, say thank you, just get some interaction. And then I identify media that deliver anti-Ukrainian information, like pro-Russian, like rubbish, regular rubbish You know that Russians 3 days ago, they destroyed, by one missile, they destroyed a residential house in Uman, in one of Ukrainian cities, and over 30 people died, I think 30 or something. A lot of injured, and a few kids, small kids died just because of that. Just a city, in this city, there is not a single object that can be interested It can be interesting for the like militaries. Nothing military, just very civilian city. Nothing, literally nothing. Only one very ancient park, like a cultural taman, like similar to like Istana Bogor, yeah. So nice park and nothing else. The house was destroyed. Same day, Russian media published this video and these photographs telling that Ukrainian army damaged the house in Donetsk. They don't even create. They just take the news what they did and say that it's like they don't even, before that they tried to create there was like something, they create some or take from the old times. No, now they take it and copy paste and say, oh, you see what Ukrainian Nazis do in Donetsk. Crazy, yeah. So third, I identify who is delivering. Like in some time ago, it was Tribun Timur, my favorite. They always like post like something from that side of the war. Say, oh my God, how? I mean, I know these people you deliver the information about. They are fascists. They're murderers. Why do you deliver this? And then, well, I don't want to talk about the reasons why, but of course I approached Timur and I talked to Timur. Tribun News. Tribun.
You go to the media.
Yes.
You go to the Tribun office, or
I communicated many times with Tribun. We did podcasts, we did interviews, we did publications, we did everything. Tribun is my good friend. So I don't have enemies in Indonesian media.
although they maybe give the
Tribun is huge. They have a lot of difference, right? So one of them, like Tribun Timur, was not friendly, but I mean, it's nothing to do with Timur in general. So with Tribun in general, Tribun is good friend in any case. Kompas Tribun or.
Okay, maybe I will give a context to the participants. Jadi teman-teman, tadi salah satu hal yang dibahas oleh Mr. Ambassador adalah Tribun Timur. Nah, Tribun Timur ini, jadi kata Pak Dubes, semua media itu teman, gitu. Dan kita harus proaktif sebagai PR, kita samperin ke mereka. Tapi tidak semua media itu pasti suka kita. Not all media friendly. Bukannya kita musuhin. Kita nggak jadikan media itu enemy, tapi kita tetap rangkul. Makanya tadi Pak Dubes juga bilang kita tetap mau datang untuk podcast interview. You also do interview with Tribun Timur? Yes?
Tribun Timur, no.
Oh no,
Tribun News, Tribun something. A lot of Tribun, but not Tribun Timur.
But the Tribun Network, the head office.
Many.
Yep. Okay.
And not only in Jakarta, also in Jogja, I think.
Oh, okay. Ya, jadi tetap kita harus approach juga kepada media-media yang unfriendly kepada kita. Okay, maybe that's the time for the presentation. Maybe we will go on and move on to the Q&A session. I will open this session for 3 questions first. Maybe where's Daryl? Mana? Okay, Daryl mungkin bisa bantu. Siapa yang mau bertanya pertama? The opportunity
dipersilakan.
Yeah. The opportunities also, yes, there's a lecturer wants to ask the question. Please give it to Mr. Taufan. Mr. Taufan is a lecturer from the journalism studies in UMN.
Okay, thank you, Pak Alvin. Hello, Mr. Ambassador. My name is Taufan. I'm from journalism department. Last week, World Press Photo just announced their photo winner. World Press Photo is the most prestigious journalism contest, and the photo came from Mariupol maternity hospital.
Siapa yang foto?
The photographer, I don't remember. No, it is from Ukraine. Yeah. What do you think about it? Do you think it will help Ukraine somehow? Give us your thought. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Taufan. He also a journalist, still a journalist in Jakarta Post? Yes, he's also a journalist in Jakarta Post. Yes.
Thank you. Jakarta Post, good friend. Yeah, Jakarta Post is famous for its balancing position. Always publishes the interview of Russian ambassador, and then I go to say, guys, what's up? And they say, okay, let's do your interview as well. So It's okay. About Mariupol and this stuff. You know what? World has a right to know. I tell you one story. Which will answer my question. How important it is. I repeat, disinformation is stronger than the truth. It is stronger. So it takes a lot of money, time, and efforts to counter disinformation. Yeah. One example: 1945, after the after the capitulation, after everything is over, right? So the American soldiers, like group of soldiers, took the big group of German ladies, ibu-ibu, yeah, like 40 plus, 50 plus, 60 plus, and took them to Auschwitz, to the biggest concentration camp, like literally weeks or days after the capitulation. They took them there just for a day's tour around, and they still have the warm ashes of people burnt in the cameras. Still had the like bones and skulls and this like thousands and thousands of sepatu, of baju, yeah, over there, of children, of everyone. Day tour finished. Then these ladies came to the assembling point, and the officers of this U.S. Army and the journalists who were accompanying them say, "What's your opinion?" And the ladies unanimously, basically, the answer was that, why did you spend so much money to create this entourage? Why? What for? We don't believe you anyway. When we show the pictures of Mariupol, when we show the pictures of and videos of houses destroyed and people killed, literally, yeah, like this to the audience, some people say, "Oh wow, it's so sad," but we don't like sad stories. Show us the cats, dogs, and something nice. We should inform the world about the fascism, about the consequences of the fascism. Or rather, Russism, we call it now. It's new fascism, neo-fascism. But I discovered in Indonesia, not many people want to listen. They say, okay, let's don't talk about sad stories. Let's talk about something more cheerful. I don't know the reason for that. But maybe you noticed that till now, since the late February 2022, we don't have in Indonesian media, we don't have not a single statement of the government, people, about the condemnation of Russian aggression, or about the expressing sympathy or expressing condolences to the thousands and tens of thousands of people killed. Not a single one. Why? I don't know. This is just a fact. Think about it. Is it useful or not? China, just an example, China, known for its so-called neutral position, more pro-Russian, yeah. But China, by today, has provided Ukraine with, I think, up to 5 aircrafts of humanitarian aid. Because it's separate things. Humanitarian support, like condolences, and the general geopolitics. Does it help?
Thank you for your answer. It's a very deepful answer and emotionally. I'm getting it. I'm getting what you feel. But again, maybe I don't know what's in our politician, in the government mind. It's because the policy of bebas aktif, free and active. I don't know about that. I cannot talk on behalf of them. But thank you for your insight, and maybe we can. Do we have another question? Okay, from the lovely lady in the pink clothes. All eyes on you. Jadi semua mata kan. Kalau nggak mau pakai bahasa Inggris nggak apa-apa. Saya coba sebisa saya pakai bahasa Jawa ngomongnya.
Hello, Mr. Ambassador.
Please stand up. Please stand up. Oh, it's okay. Okay.
You said that balance is not good, just like studying in freedom. But like Jakarta Post covers both stories, the balance news from both sides of Russia and Ukraine. How would you think benefit you more?
How to balance more?
No, how would you think that it will benefit you more if, just like you said, that the media is covering both sides of this?
Okay, good question. I think that media, I repeat, media is free to deliver. And of course, media will deliver the opinions which will differ. Yeah? But one thing, it's important to know, balanced media, for example, we have the presidential campaign now in Indonesia starting or something. We have presidential campaign in the United States, Republicans and Democrats, right? And the media will be delivering the points of view of this or that party. That's nice, this entertaining. People will listen to parties here and then compare, and that's good. That's 3D or even 4D presentation of the situation, right? Something different happens when we come to the crimes of war, crimes against humanity. When we deal with the murders of children, with the rapes, with the destruction of infrastructure, with the real war crimes, comparable to the Second World War crimes, it's a bit different. So balance is good when you deliver the information. Well, in generally speaking, what should have happened is that if you want to know my opinion, go back to, I'm historian, go back to 1935 to 1945. Go to this period of time and see what happened this time in Europe and in the world. What was delivered, what has been delivering by the media to the audiences worldwide, in Latin America, in Europe, in Asia, what was happening then? Yeah, and you'll find out that the closer to the end of war with Hitler, yeah, less number of countries were willingly delivering anything good about Germany. Like, Germany is victorious and fighting, we are good, we are like, you know what Germans said? Like Hitler and the German Nazi said. Same as Putin. Same stories. We are defending the German-speaking people. We are liberating the territories from whatever bad guys, yeah? At those times there were communist guys, and now they liberate Ukraine from Ukrainians. They shouldn't be Ukrainians in Ukraine. Like that. So balance is a very subtle thing, but for media to be respected, to be like real right, respected media, you have to gain this by what? By providing verified information. Verified. If Russian ambassador speaking blah 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 blah, yeah, at least you can quote him. Yeah, it's okay. Like do. We are peaceful. We never start the war. We never kill civilians. We don't damage civilian objects. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, it's important under that reporter says this does not this is not the position. The position could be different from the position of the newspaper, of this media. Yeah, and maybe it would be necessary and good to get a comment from someone, or like initiate the dialogue with the other party and say, you know, guys, what do you think about that? By the way, this is the excellent matrix that was used in terms of Israel and Palestine, because Palestinians don't want to have a war with Israelis, and Israelis don't want to have war with Palestinians. basically it's about political parties and some extreme bodies who fight in there. I know the situation pretty well there, and I must say that they don't want to have the conflicts, and they can find the compromise. But when some people come to the power which don't want to have conflict, it will deteriorate the situation. Balancing approach is very important, but when it comes to the like evaluation, what do you worth? It's important to make it like crystal clear that the information provided is verified, is trustworthy, we can trust this media, and you can try to have a look at the, for example, at the Tempo, majalah Tempo, when Daniel came from Ukraine, and there was a I don't remember when it was, but it was like Ura Genocida on the cover. It was a huge article about the war in Ukraine, the damaged houses, the everything. And the last page of this interview, after the interview, it's one page, Russian ambassador in Indonesia, and some text of what she thinks about that. This is very good position. Why? He actually presented what happens, and then after that, look, he didn't say that, but everybody said this is liar. Just read what she said. You don't believe it? Go back and see what happened, what Russia did to Ukraine, and then read again. Who is liar? Clever, efficient.
Thank you, Mr. Ambassador. Maybe I will give explanation. Jadi balance itu bagus, tapi kita juga pertama harus lihat medianya. Yang kedua, media itu balance itu nggak mungkin 50-50, tapi media punya positioning, gitu teman-teman. And either dia mendukung atau dia tidak mendukung, either supported or not supported. Walaupun dia cover both side, both sources into one news article, maybe maksudnya mungkin ada, tapi posisinya itu berapa banyak, berapa percentage-nya yang lebih banyak berbicara dalamnya itu bisa menjadi penentu, gitu teman-teman. Dan kalau kita if I can maybe make some connection to the academic literature, we have the Biffins and Jane Johnston, the book of two scholars that said in public relation we have controlled information and also uncontrolled information. If you get interviewed by the journalist, you will receive uncontrolled information. But how you deliver it, how you create the narrative, it's up to you. Yeah. Okay. So maybe the last question for this session. Last question. Okay. That lady over there. Please state your name. Kasih nama ya mbaknya.
Hello, Dr. Vasyl. My name is Farah, and I would like to ask a question. As you said before, people would rather choose the propaganda because it's sweeter, and I also think that fear lies behind that trust, because people doesn't want to get hurt, and people just are scared of the truth. And because we will be part of the media later, do we as the media have any power to help reduce that fear in people, or is it completely up to them to believe what news they would like to believe or not? And what can we do to help reduce that fear at all? Thank you.
I don't think I get the 100% the meaning of the question. It's about the fear. Can you reformulate, because it sounds important, but maybe in bahasa ini.
Ya, mungkin sampaikan dulu dalam bahasa Indonesia, nanti baru saya coba berikan.
Kayaknya kalau menurut saya itu tadi kan propaganda itu kan manis gitu.
Lebih manis, betul.
Orang jadi lebih percaya sama propaganda daripada yang kenyataannya gitu. Dan menurut saya itu kalau orang tuh lebih percaya propaganda karena ada rasa takut gitu loh. Jadi mereka tuh takut untuk percaya sama yang kenyataan gitu. Nah, kita sebagai media itu kita punya kekuatan untuk mengurangi rasa takut yang ada di orang-orang ini, atau enggak gitu, atau memang sebenarnya itu terserah mereka mau percaya kenyataannya atau enggak gitu. Kalaupun kita punya kekuatan, apa yang bisa kita lakuin untuk mengurangi rasa takut itu?
Oke, sorry, Sarah dari mahasiswa jurnalistik atau setelahkom?
Saya kebetulan lagi pertukaran pelajar dari DKV.
Oh, oke, sip. Saya jadi mencoba memahami konteksnya. So, Sarah said about the question is, in propaganda, of course, it's sweeter, as you said, but is the propaganda also contain fear? The first question, and the second one is how the media can tackle something that called propaganda. You know, like tackle, respond, like correcting the propaganda. Have you ever experienced this kind of case? Maybe you can share some instance about this.
Okay. That's what I said, that propaganda is manis cantik ya nyaman. It's in general, it doesn't refer to only the cats and like flowers, yeah. Propaganda can be very scary and be very traumatic. Yeah, it can traumatize the imagination of people, because what Russians used to spread around the world in previous times, like 8 years ago when they occupied Crimea and Donbass, that like Ukrainian soldiers rape the birds, like crucify the boys somewhere. It's like crazy, right? So it's something that, and then they find the videos from Syria or from Iraq, from Syria actually, from the rebels, yeah, or from when the one group of armed people literally murder the civilians somewhere and say it's Ukraine, it's somewhere in Donbass and whatever, yeah. So it can be very ugly, but what I mean by manis, easy to consume. You are given the straight information and they think for you. They don't give you the freedom to think. They say, it is what you see. When we when we spread our information, we say, okay, look at this. This is what we see. And this is like, yeah, some explosions, but how do we know? And blah, 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 yeah. And then we say, proof, look at this, a lot of proofs. Look at time, look at what people say in the background. There was a big story about the attempt of Russian propaganda to compromise Ukrainian army by humiliating Quran quite recently. Remember that they say that Ukrainian soldiers burn Quran and then burn it, yeah. But that was the same Quran that they burnt in Moscow a few weeks after. This is the Quran in Russian that we don't have in Ukraine at all. It's new edition. They simple people, they don't understand. And the accent of people talking in the background is not Ukrainian people. But they say, look what Ukrainians do. You say, oh my God, what Ukrainians do? You don't think whether they're Ukrainians, whether they're right or not. Look what Ukrainians do. That's it. So
the media needs to perform verification at its best to counter the propaganda. Is that what you say to the Sarah?
I say that yes. Before publishing anything, I would rather say to media that, well, yes, you would rather filter it and try to verify what you are delivering, because sooner or later your reputation will be damaged and destroyed. Because sooner or later Russia will fall, and there will be the big fall, and this will be all related to this. Now we have like tens of thousands of crimes against humanity, of war crimes, tens of thousands of cases already filed and handled to the International Criminal Court. You know that International Criminal Court already raised the issue of arresting President Putin. Yeah, it's not the play. It's not the game. We play. Just we can do this or we cannot. This is a serious thing. Yeah, and it's just one accusation of many. So tens of thousands cases filed. When it will be on the surface, all those people who were shouting that, oh, Russians are our friends, will be ashamed. Because, I mean, can you have a friend like murderer, raper, rapist, destroyer, like, oh my God, fascist? A good friend. Yeah, so it's about media, but the danger is now is hiding in the social media. It's uncontrollable. You cannot control TikTok. People just get put the content, and this is some. I look through some content that are viral, and millions of people watch it, and it's like absolute rubbish. I would not even pay any single second to this. But people are like, oh yeah, Putin, yeah, Russia, hurrah, you know. The reaction is this, two houses in Ukraine destroyed by Russian missiles, 100 people died, and the reaction is, well done, hurrah, Russia is our hero. Oh my God, how can you control this? You cannot. But you can at least try to counter this in media. Because after all, these people who say hurrah today, they will be saying shame on Russia tomorrow. This is very volatile, like people who don't care what happens in fact. They are led by the media and by social media. Yeah.
Oke, thank you Dr. Vasyl. Jadi kepada Sandra dan teman-teman, prinsipnya gini. Farah, my mistake, my bad. Maybe my ear. Oke, jadi Farah dan teman-teman, prinsipnya adalah ketika kita mau ketika kita berbicara, interview dengan media, ada satu. Dari sisi medianya, media harus menjalankan tugasnya verifikasi sebagai nafas kehidupan media. Ketika verifikasi dilewati, maka nanti media itu kehilangan reputasinya, lost its reputation. Kemudian dari sisi PR-nya, sebagai humas, teman-teman juga harus untuk bisa mendeliver sesuai fakta, although the truth is ugly, right? Okay, maybe that's all the time that we have, but still we have 2 photo session. Like you said, we always like to pray, eat, and photo. Without photo, there is no activity.
I say it's 3 things that paling penting.
Paling penting, yeah.
Watch carefully. You refuse to, you will not be welcome.
That's right. Okay, so maybe the first session, I ask all the lecturers to come up into the stage. Okay.
Yeah, I have another idea. Maybe we stand there and we take.
Yes, that's the second
one.
session. First one, all the lecturers in the stage taking photo with the ambassador. Please, all the lecturers come forward to the stage. And jadi sementara karena para dosennya berfoto, saya minta yang berada di bagian paling atas, ya kakak berambut ombak dari laut pantai selatan, iya semua isi turun ke bawah. Saya perintah, waduh ngeri banget ya. Tolong teman-teman mohon bantuannya. Jadi kita penuhin sampai di sini nih, yang kakak row 3 nih, yang row 3 turun semuanya. Penuhin dulu isi paling belakang, ayo. Memang ini sangat enak. Penuhin ke depan semua. Maksimal di row 3. Ayo teman-teman, yuk bergerak semuanya. Maju, semua maju. Oke, silakan. Yunika tolong dibantu. Semua di teman-teman, ya semua turun. Ayo, sama isi dulu. Ayo cepet-cepet.
Tolong dibantu untuk turun ke bawah. Ayo yang paling atas supaya bisa cepat selesai. Boleh dibantu turun ke bawah? Atau kalau ada yang bangku kosong di tengah-tengah seperti ini diisi aja supaya bisa mepet. Tolong yang diisi yang di sini dulu ya. Ada yang mau bantu lagi? Boleh yang di belakang, yang
ayo
sebelah
nih,
sana.
masih bisa ada 2 row di depan teman-teman.
Iya,
Biar
ayo
kita
dong.
cepat foto yuk.
Ayo.
Boleh dibantu ya teman-teman ya. Kita isi di depan
Boleh
dulu.
turun.
Ini masih ada yang bolong-bolong.
Kalau
boleh
ngelihat
dibantu
ada
isi.
bangku yang kosong,
Ya.
tolong langsung diisi aja.
Supaya nanti di fotonya bagus dari depan, kelihatan semua. Kalau kalian di belakang nggak kelihatan, mukanya kecil nanti. Yuk dibantu ya
Berdua,
teman-teman ya.
boleh tolong isi di
yang
tengah.
kosong. Nah ini masih ada 2 kosong di sini. Tuh di depan masih ada
Teman-teman
1
nih,
kosong.
skripsi nggak ditandatanganin. Turun semua.
Nah, yo langsung
semua, turun.
tidak dapat tanda tangan.
Pakai power play udah turun semua, turun.
Terbaik
turun.
Mas Alvin. Ayo teman-teman yuk. Itu masih ada yang kosong tuh di depan tuh. Ada 2, 3, ada 4 di bawah.
Oke.
Itu ada 2 lagi di sebelah sana kosong. Boleh diisi lagi.
Yang tengah tolong diisi dulu.
Ya, agak ke bawah dikit. Bawah dikit, bawah
Lanjut
dikit.
turun lagi.
Sini.
Di sini masih ada nih. Di sini ada kosong nih. Di sini ada 2 kosong yuk.
Oke,
2
gonna take
kosong.
the
2 depan sini.
student first. Ayo. Ya.
Cuma buat foto kok. Ayo.
Iya.
Ini 1 kosong.
Itu
Silakan.
oke, itu udah diisi. Itu di situ masih ada 2 lagi itu. Ayo
Mbak,
turun lagi.
boleh isi depan dulu sini.
Ayo
biar
Maria
nggak
di
kosong.
bawah, boleh dibantu ya.
Itu di sebelah yang baju hitam
Terima
boleh.
kasih.
Ini di tengah ada 2 yang kosong, boleh diisi. Silakan. 1 di sebelah sini buat foto doang. Nggak temenan nggak apa-apa.
Iya. Ayo diisi dulu ya teman-teman ya. Itu di depan mendingin masih ada di merah tuh ya. Kakak yang merah.
Sip. Kamu bertiga.
Ini itu 2 masih kosong Mbak Niki.
2 di bawah
Di
sana.
depan situ, depan kakak yang baju merah. Nggak apa-apa bantu isi aja biar nggak
Bantu
bolong.
isi aja. Tuh, yang samping baju merah. Sip. Sana, boleh. Siap.
Oke, sudah semua standby ya. Aba-aba semua, saya ambil alih. Siap. Kakak fotografer. Semua lihat ke kamera.
1, 2, 3. Sekali lagi. 1, 2, 3. Ganti gaya. 1. Wait. 1, 2, 3. Oke, thank you.
Ya, terima kasih teman-teman.
Oke, teman-teman perhatian sedikit, nanti dari dosen akan share link untuk presensi hari ini yang akan di-share ke ketua kelas. Tadi ketua kelas yang atur ya. Kalau belum dapat link presensi, tolong ketua kelasnya kontak ke dosennya. Kalau tidak, sama saja bodong ya. Oke teman-teman, terima kasih atas partisipasinya. Sampai jumpa kembali di lain waktu dan kesempatan. Terima kasih ke Unike, terima kasih ke Daryl, terima kasih ke seluruh kru yang bertugas pada hari ini.